Tonight, we hairy gamelords have been playing this classic rally. Let's go! Slightly beardy James here. So, Classic Rally is a race game, but it's a little bit different from other rallying and driving games because the thing that stood out to me at first is you've got a start at one end and you've got a finish at another end, and then the roads are just all over the place. And it's almost resembling country roads. The only way I could wrap my head around this, I'm sure you'll be seeing some pictures now, is that it is a large-scale cross-country dash trying to get to different checkpoints. You've got to go to three. Well, we were racing to 3 checkpoints and then making it to the finish. This game is brutal. It will kick you, and it will kick you when you are down. And this game brought out the worst in me. Mistakes were made, and it's been a learning experience about true character and all of that kind of stuff. So, right. The things that I liked about this game, I liked how you kind of were balancing your resources. So you've got a board which has got one for your rally car and one for your assistance car. And you can't carry very much in your rally car, so you can carry up to 6 fuel. You got some cool features and stuff on your car, but you will be burning through that fuel to be able to get around the track. But you've also got your assistance car, which trundles along very slowly behind. And so there's going to be quite a few strategic moments of refueling, of fixing your car, and the like. I really like that you got to kind of work 2 moving pieces together to kind of share resources. That was probably one of my favourite aspects of this game. The things that I didn't like is what it did to me as a person, and I can't apologise enough to Pete.
Now 11 turns behind you.
11 turns.
I'm so sorry.
James, nice James, what's happened to you?
I went full Dave. In the absence of Dave, it's the seat! It's the seat! I just waited until Pete's support car got one move away from Pete's rally car. Took all of the fuel he was taking with my rubber.
Oh my days.
Yeah, this isn't going to end well for me.
Oh my word. At least Pete's really close to the finishing line. How many checkpoints have you done, Pete?
None.
Oh.
Oh no.
All right. Okay.
Oh dear. Okay. Not because it was a great strategic decision, but because I wanted to push Pete to the edge, and we succeeded in doing so. And I'm very sorry, Pete. Please forgive me. I robbed all of his fuel and took it into my own assistance car, which we chuckled about, and it kind of broke the game for us, and it was a bit of a sad time. But apart from that,
it broke Pete's game.
Yeah, it did. So
his will to live.
So I don't know. I think the thing that I didn't like was what it did to me in terms of the take back, because there are a couple of cards which are quite aggressive, and I just used it very poorly, and it brought out the worst of me. But yeah, you might like this game if you want something which has got quite a bit of interaction, because you are trying to move around the track with other people as moving parts. You might like this if you like planning ahead. But if you're looking for something which is, I guess, has got that kind of exhilaration that comes with a race, then there are plenty of other racing games that you might find more exciting than this one. As for me, it made me into a monster.
Right.
Oh, Pete, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he needs to be. I am looking forward for the day when I'll be able to get James back for that move. As a result, so I made a mistake early on, and this, I guess, is... So this is a game that, although a lot of race games have got a lot of kind of built-in catch-up mechanics. Here's looking at Rallyman GT, where you can often, because if you're up at the front, there are different challenges, and you can, with the overtaking things from memory, there are a number of ways you can catch up. basically, at the start of the game, you've got your co-pilot has got the road book and has got 4 cards, and these are for any time you hit an intersection. That's either a full crossroads or a T-junction. You have to stop, and then you have to play one of these cards to turn or go straight ahead. Now, the one thing the one rule I forgot, and that is on me. I can't blame anyone else, and I will take that bit. Is that I had forgotten the bit that if you can use the card, you have to. So I had misplanned my route, so that I knew that I'd have to stop, burn a card, and then I could do what I wanted. But the problem was you can't do that. If you can carry on and you've got a straight ahead, you have to go straight ahead, which basically pushed me down the main straight of the centre of the track and out towards the finish line. And I wasn't then able to, I'd burnt all my cards, which the minute you've burnt these 4 cards, you can turn any which way. You have got the choice because your co-pilot has sort of torn up the road book. We know the route now. We know all the turns, so we know where they are. As a result of that, I was then left out of fuel, out in the cold, and needing to get my assistant's car.
Oh.
I think my assistant's car was because I'd moved through sort of 4 or 5 spaces, I think it was 3 or 4 spaces behind, so that took a fair few, and that's the only thing you can do on your turn, because you've got no fuel, you can't move, you're just going to be moving your assistant's car while everybody else is doing their turns. One step away, and as James has already said, he stole all my fuel, despite the opportunity to steal fuel from all the racers. He chose to just do it for me, and as a result, I guess my honest experience of the game was it was just dry and boring because I didn't do anything in the game at all. So it's a tough one because I didn't enjoy it, and if you ask me would you play it again, I wouldn't want to, which I don't like saying out loud about a game because the game probably doesn't deserve that, but that can happen in this game. It's one of those games where, so if you're not a fan of those games where on one wrong turn and that's it potentially for your game, then this might not be for you. I'm not that kind of player, but there are people who like the kind of, you can really plan everything really carefully, but I guess to counter that, there are still dice rolls about the weather changes, and the balance of, if you roll the fog and rain one and you haven't got fog lights and rain tyres, you're going to be damaging your car. That means you're not going to get as much movement. Your car isn't going to be as efficient. There's all things like that can slow you and stop you. So there's still a fair bit of luck in a game. If it was truly deterministic, you'd kind of say, well, Pete, you made a mistake, that's all on you. But on the flip side, there is still a fair bit of potential for luck in this game. Drawing of hazard cards, different hazards will do different types of damage. So it does reward tactical play. I got my tactics wrong right in the beginning, so you hear my review in that I made a big mistake right on because I didn't read a rule right. That's on me. But I was left, basically I had 3 turns at the start of the game, and the rest of the game, all I was doing was moving my assistant's car 1 space. And that was the game for me.
Greetings, Ange the Bearded Lady, aka Victor, of tonight's game. Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. James chose to take all of his fury out on Pete when his card clearly says you can go to all players. I was clearly his main competition. Pete hadn't gone through, because of his mistake, he hadn't gone through any checkpoints. And he was sat 2 places away from the end, but with no checkpoints. James should have robbed from me. And James, therefore, he could have won if he'd robbed from me. But because he didn't, he lost. And I came first. Yes. The artwork in this game is beautiful. It is so nice. Tristram has done the artwork. We're big fans of Tristram here, and it looks great. The board itself with the tiles, and actually what's great is we've done a kind of like a startup board, which the rulebook recommends that you play so that you get used to the track, you get used to the hazards, you get used to everything. But going forward from this, you then kind of draft out the racetrack, which I think would be loads of fun to play on your own kind of drafted out racetrack. So you've got that on the racetrack. There are hazards. So every time you get to a hazard and you're the only car on that hazard, and I was like, yes, cool. I'm the first player. I'm gonna start off. Oh, I've hit a hazard on my first point. The first bit of road, you hit a hazard. You have to stop. If there are other cars on that hazard, when you get to it, you can just roll through and go past it. Those hazards are awful. They will kick you. They will keep you down. And usually you need your assistant car to come after you and rescue you. That assistant car takes its time to get to you. And that can be irritating. Throughout this game, you are going to be kicked and knocked down, even if you're not playing with James or Dave the Grey. So there is that element. We've been playing a prototype tonight, and we've been playing, therefore, a prototype rulebook. And Pete didn't like the game because there wasn't any catch-up, that kind of underdog catch-up mechanic in the prototype rulebook that we've got. Hopefully, hopefully, the rulebook, when it comes to the end product, will have that ability where if somebody makes a mistake, if they are really, really far behind, there will be that catch-up mechanic in there that helps the underdog so that actually they can get some gameplay and enjoyment out of the game rather than just feeling bored and, well, I've lost this, what's the point in playing? I really enjoyed the game, obviously because I won, but also because the way that I kind of worked out and planned my route to go through the road book, kind of planned it out that I would burn through it in the first loop, which happened an absolute treat. Yes, I had to miss a few goes because I had two straightforwards and I couldn't go straight forward. So effectively, I'm like missing the goes, but it worked out really, really well for me. And once you've got through that road book, it feels brilliant that you can just go for it, and all that's going to stop you is how much fuel you burn through. Oh yeah, hazards. Oh yeah, the rolling of dice at the beginning of your go. And if you roll a 1 in the dice, then you're going to break your car. If you haven't got wet tyres on, if you haven't got fog lights on, it's Britain. It's gonna happen. There's a one side on that die that has both rain and fog, and it was like Pete, when he was explaining the rules, was like, "Hey, this is probably the most unlucky side," and I was like, "And I'm probably going to roll it the most," and I did. So because of that, I couldn't have that much fuel in my race car. At most, I could have 4 fuel. Most of the time, I was running with 3 fuel because I was carrying a toolbox to try and fix the ongoing problems in my car. But still, what's great is some of those features in your car can help you around bends, help you on straights, give you free moves. Yeah, I really liked the game. I thought it was very clever, and the planning of it and the managing of resources and that beautiful artwork. Really, really nice. Do check this out and see whether it's for you. Nice.